Oh boy, this was not supposed to happen again. I went to a clearance sale for one watch, just one, and somehow this happened. And it would be irresponsible not to save them. So yeah, I'm saving these poor watches. Oops, another watch.
Welcome back, fellow watch collectors and people who treat every watch like a rescue mission. So, this time I found a watch lot online with some of the worst photos I have ever seen. I mean, we're talking blurry, mysterious, basically guesswork. But I did spot one thing, an Orient that caught my eye. And here's the best part, I was the only bidder. So I got the whole lot for $50. Let's see if there's treasure in here, or just regret. Ah yes, the classic. Pile the watches in and add one sheet of bubble wrap technique. Let's hope most of them survived. Okay, first watch. So this is a Timex Q from the 70s with that really nice deep blue dial, day date at the 3 o'clock position, and a very clean layout overall. And paired with this flexible bracelet, it really screams 70s design. Timex Q models were some of the early quartz watches from Timex, and they even made a reissue of this style a few years ago. I remember actually liking the look of that one quite a bit. Condition-wise, there's some small scratches and the battery door is almost done, but nothing else too serious. This actually is in pretty decent shape. Value-wise, nothing too special, but it definitely has that cool vintage diver look. This is a good start. Next one. So this is a cadeau quartz. I think we can all agree this is not why I bought the lot. Let's see what else we have in the box. This is a Tissot PR100 with a sapphire crystal. Nice textured dial and a date at 3 o'clock. But yeah, this one has definitely been someone's daily beater. The plating on the watch is in pretty rough condition. It seems to have the original bracelet. This is likely late 1990s or early 2000s watch. I have to put in a new battery and see if it runs. Now this is interesting. This is an Orient 3-star automatic, 21 jewels, day date at 3 o'clock, classic layout, nice silver dial. These 3 stars were Orient's answer to the Seiko 5. Simple, reliable, automatic everyday watches. These started showing up around the 70s and were built to just keep running without much hassle. Okay, how about the serial number? First digit is 2, so the year is 1972 or 1982. Based on the design, logo, and that chunky case, it's probably 1972. Let's see what else we've got. A small Seiko Quartz, a women's model, with this rectangular case design. Very simple dial, clean layout, classic Seiko styling. Very nice looking bracelet, but it has some wear on the plating. Serial starts once again with the number 2, so this is most likely from 1982. But yeah, the dial has these spots, and that's usually not a great sign. It often means there's been a battery leak inside the watch. We can't say for sure yet. We'll have to open it up and take a look. Oh, before I forget, a quick wrist check. Today I'm wearing an Orient Kamasu with a crimson red dial on a Miltat Super J Louis bracelet. That bracelet fits the watch perfectly, and it's built like a tank. Really solid combo. Can't go wrong with this one. Alright, another Orient. This one is a bit different. More of a dress style watch with this rectangular case. Orient made a lot of these simple quartz dress watches. Nothing too complicated, just clean and reliable. Not the most exciting piece, but still a nice little watch. Black dial, gold tone hands and markers. Very minimal design. Much more on the elegant side compared to the previous one. The case has some wear and scratches, especially along the edges, but overall, it still looks pretty decent. This one's a bit different. A Buler LCD Quartz. Classic late 70s into early 80s digital styling. Chunky case, simple display. Buler is actually a Swiss brand founded back in 1945. Originally known for producing affordable mechanical watches. During the quartz crisis, they shifted direction like many others, moving into quartz and digital pieces like this. They were never really a luxury brand, more of a mid-tier manufacturer, but they did experiment with some interesting designs over the years. This one fits right into that transition era. Now this is something a bit more serious. A Cortibert pocket watch. Classic enamel style dial, Arabic numerals, and a small seconds at 6. On the back we have an engraving from 1955. Cortibert is a Swiss brand with roots going back to the late 1800s, known especially for their robust pocket watch movements. They actually supplied movements to other brands as well, including some military and railway use. And it's running. Perfect. Hands work normally. This is a great find. This is the kind of piece that actually adds some real value to the lot. Zeenitz. This is an interesting one. Feels like it's trying to channel Zenith, but more of a budget Swiss take. Kind of a close enough from a distance situation. Dial is actually nice though. Applied indices, clean layout, and some patina that I like. Inside is likely a simple manual wind Swiss movement. Nothing fancy but serviceable. Classic expansion bracelet. No clasp, just stretch over the wrist. Not worth much, but as a Zenith-inspired vintage piece, it's kind of fun piece of history. Citizen Anadigi. Analog hands up top, digital display below. I have quite a few of these, but this one has more of a rounded shape than the ones I have. Serial starting with 0, and it puts this to 1980. Usually these features alarm and chronograph. Back then, this was high-tech stuff. Not rare, but very cool ana-digi piece. Alright, this is the reason I even bid on the whole lot. An Orient SK Crystal King Diver, and yeah, this is a good one. You've got that signature checkered dial, applied gold indices, and that bold inner rotating bezel. This thing has proper presence. 21 jewel automatic movement. These were Orient's answer to the dive watch trend back in the 70s. Not a hardcore tool diver, but definitely built to look the part. Condition-wise, it's seen some life, case wear, marks and aging, but that just adds character. OS 469 on the caseback. So this tells us it's running the Orient 469 movement. The roots of this movement actually go back to the early 1970s, when it first appeared as the Seiko 7005 caliber. At some point, Orient got the rights to produce and adapt it to their own specs, and over the years they've modified it enough to really make it their own. But under the hood, there are still plenty of original 7000 series parts in there, so it's kind of a hybrid story. Seiko DNA with an Orient evolution. Everything seems to be working. I'm very happy with this one. This alone paid for the whole lot. Next up, a Wilson. Not exactly a well-known brand. This is one of those smaller Swiss mid-century names. They typically used ébauche movements. That basically means a base movement made by another manufacturer like ETA or AS, which the brand then finished and used as their own. So this sits in that affordable Swiss tier, above no name but not quite big league. Think honest everyday Swiss, nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. On this one, you can see some of the plating is already gone, and there's even a bit of rust coming through. So yeah, not mint, but definitely carrying that worn vintage character. Shame that it's not running that well. Okay, last watch out of this lot is an Orient Quartz diver. That blue dial is doing a lot here. Nice depth, and those chunky lume plots give it proper tool watch vibes. Quartz inside, of course, so this was Orient adapting to the post-quartz era market. Not a pure diver in the strict sense, but honestly, a pretty cool, chunky and solid feeling watch. Bezel has seen better days, plenty of wear, but still readable. You've got day date at 3 and that inner tachymeter scale, which is a bit unusual on a diver. Kind of a mix of styles, but it actually works. Alright, that's going to wrap up this lot. And yeah, if I had to pick favorites, definitely this Orient King Diver, the Timex Q, and the Tissot PR100. Those three alone made this a very successful bid. Honestly, I'm really happy with how this turned out. And of course, it didn't stop there. I also picked up another watch for just €5, and a whole pile of spare parts that we can quickly take a look at, so don't leave yet. So this is the €5 watch I picked up alongside the lot. Citizen Quartz with a Moonphase complication, which is actually pretty cool. Serial starts with 901, so we're probably in the early 90s here. And yeah, it's running just fine and it keeps time well. dark dial looks great, and the gold tone case adds a bit of contrast. For €5, this one's an easy win. So I have to confess something. I really like Ricoh watches, and for some reason I always find them with cracked crystals. So naturally, when this lot showed up, I thought, yeah, this is a great idea. I paid €100 for this, but there are at least 280 brand new crystals for Ricoh watches in here. And it's not just that. There are also digital watch faceplates and even some mechanical watch crystals mixed in. And honestly, some of these shapes are so weird and complicated, I have absolutely no idea what they even fit. So, what do you think about this watch lot and all these crystals? Let me know in the comments. And if you liked the video, consider subscribing, it really supports the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.